Hey friends, welcome back to my kitchen. So glad you could join me. Do you know what time of year it is? It's fall. It's pumpkin spice time. Well, I'm not really, well, don't get me wrong. I love pumpkin spice. I do. But I love pumpkin pie more. So last year when there was a pumpkin can shortage of pumpkin, I stocked up because I like pumpkin pie all the time. And with Thanksgiving coming, I thought I would show you the easiest way to make pumpkin pie. This is the simplest pumpkin pie recipe you will ever find. Super duper. All you need is a blender and a pumpkin pie filling. I'm cheating. I'm using a pumpkin pie crust already made. They're pretty easy to find, actually. So mine, actually, I found at the Jewel. Just read the ingredients. Most of them are actually made with vegetable shortening, just because it's cheaper. So this one is a deep dish. I'm going to make it with just one can. You could add a little extra if you wanted to, but I just decided you just need one can. I'm using some organic pumpkin filling. And we're going to make this all in a blender. Super simple. It only takes a few ingredients. A little whirl, and stick it in the oven. So again, I do love pumpkin pretty well everything, and I do make pumpkin oatmeal, pumpkin bakes, pumpkin scones. But my favorite has always been pumpkin pie with whipped cream. And to be honest today, guys, it is like 80 degrees here in Chicago for October 1st. Yes, 80 degrees, which is, I don't know, 29, 28, something. I forget now in Celsius because I've been here for so long. But it is gorgeous. So it's kind of hard to say it's fall here because I haven't worn any fall clothes yet. So to our blender, we've got our pumpkin, basically 1 can of pumpkin. We're going to add, and again, don't forget, the recipe is going to be down below, so no worries. We're going to add about 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, or whatever you have. If you have dark brown sugar, add dark brown sugar. We don't stress here. Remember, we don't stress. And adjust the recipe as you like. You can put a little less if you're not into a lot of sugar. Just a dash of salt. About 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And I'm going to do a little less than 1/4 cup, and then I'm going to check it at the end. And if I need an extra splash, then I'll add an extra splash. I'm also not necessarily like it very sweet either. I think pumpkin shines through, and I think it's more of the spices that go with it. Speaking of the spices, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of the pumpkin pie spice, goodness, to it. And you can buy it already blended. You can make your own blend, and then you can adjust it to your liking. You can add a little extra clove. You can add a little extra allspice, however you want to make it. A teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to do about 1/3 cup of a plant-based milk. You could do plain. This one happens if you already have a little vanilla in it, but I don't find it really tastes vanilla-y. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to make it a word today. And then our secret ingredient, because we're vegan and we don't use eggs and everything to bind it all together and make it, we're going to use cornstarch or arrowroot. Whatever you have in your kitchen will work. So normally we use cornstarch or arrowroot as like a slurry. This time we're going to put it into our mixture. And that's it. We're going to turn on our Vitamix. We're going to slowly blend this. Just going to When you're using your frozen crusts, they only take a couple of minutes to defrost. Your oven should be at 350. Ooh, I almost started blending that without putting the lid on. That's okay. And guys, that's it. Your pumpkin pie is almost done. All we need to do now is put it in our pie filling. So again, if you're using a regular pie filling, this happened to be the only one I could find at my grocery store. If you're using a regular pie filling, like I thought I was going to be using, so when I normally tested this recipe, it was for a regular pie filling. This one is a deep dish. So if you're using the deep dish, you can use a little extra pie filling if you want. You can use a larger can and do 1.5, like half, 3/4 of the large can. Sorry. You ever have one of those days? It seems so simple. You think you have it together and then, nah, not so much. Okay. Let me get all that pumpkin. I should have tasted it before I put it into the pie filling, but oh my God. See, I would just eat that. You could actually cook that, add more milk, and that would be a pudding. You're going to smooth it. Okay, so we're going to smooth that out. I always like it, if it's fuller, you can always put it on a baking sheet, but I always like just I just find the tin foil plates are not always strong, so I always put it on a cooking sheet. We're going to put it in the oven, and we're going to bake it for about 50 to 60 minutes at 350. Okay, our pie is done, guys. Let's pull it out. Look how lovely that turned out. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that is gorgeous. We're going to let that cool down. You're going to let it cool down on a wire rack. And then we're going to serve it up with some delicious coconut whipped cream.